seniors determine how their Medicare is delivered to them instead of 15 bureaucrats deciding what, if, where, when they get it.
Vice President Biden, too.
You know, I heard that death panel argument from Sarah Palin. It seems every vice presidential debate I hear this kind of stuff, panels.
And we're live in Danville, Kentucky, where just a short time ago, the first and only vice presidential debate concluded. And joining me now is somebody who was, well, mentioned by the vice president tonight, and that is former Republican vice presidential nominee, Governor Sarah Palin. Governor, welcome back to the program.
Thanks so much, Sean.
All right, let's get your initial thoughts. I don't think Joe Biden smiled as uncontrollably in your debate, and nor do I think he was as rude and condescending. I'm hearing from a lot of people on Twitter, emails, all over the place that this did not go over very well tonight. Your thoughts?
Well, I believe that Joe Biden was sent in as the attack dog in this debate to compensate for President Obama's just atrocious showing in his own debate, where he was aloof and arrogant and disconnected and really disengaged with what is very important to the American voter. That was the representation of Obama in his own debate last week. So I believe that Joe Biden was sent in to try to compensate for that. But really tough format, Sean, for someone like a Paul Ryan or anybody else up against Joe Biden when the moderator allowed one candidate to absolutely run roughshod over the conversation, over the opponent. That's tough format. It reminded me, I just told Neil Cavuto, of watching a muskox run across the tundra with somebody underfoot. And in this case, when it came to style, it was Paul Ryan underfoot because of the moderator allowing, interrupting, to kind of take control of the conversations.
I would say that maybe there's a lesson to be learned here, is that if Martha ever gets married again, that probably Paul Ryan should go to her wedding, which I thought was wrong in the first place because there's an obvious conflict of interest. And it was interesting that every time she seemed to interrupt was, well, to bail out Joe Biden and shut down Paul Ryan, but I don't think it impacted the debate. Some things that might have gone unnoticed, Governor, that I want to get your thoughts on. When Joe Biden talked about, oh, they're down on America, they bet against America. Holding hostage was another term that he used. Now, this is he's working for a president that often lectures the country on civility, and I wanted to get your take on those particular terms that he used tonight, meaning the vice president.
You know, that inciting type rhetoric, that did not go over well, I believe, with those who are rational American voters just wanting to deal with facts and what the true State of the Union is. And we know that the State of the Union is not very good right now because of the failed policies of Obama and Biden. I think what you're going to see tonight is, along with that inciting rhetoric, what you're going to see as a result of that is the mainstream media tomorrow morning will probably want to give a quote-unquote win to Joe Biden based on style, because he came across as quite passionate, having used rhetoric like you just mentioned. Unfortunately, Joe Biden is quite passionate about all the wrong things. He's passionate about growing government, assuming the government is the answer. Paul Ryan, more subdued perhaps, I believe more pulled together, but what Paul Ryan was trying to explain is that the Republican platform is built on this notion of empowering the individual, our small business, the middle class, just the average everyday American who isn't looking for government to come in and take more and more of what the fruits of our labor is and then redistribute it into some faraway, faceless politician's priorities.
Well, you know, but there were certain lines that I thought were very, very interesting and actually got some audience reaction tonight. And, you know, are we going to build our cars in Finland? Are we going to, you know, have our windmills built in China? $90 billion that were wasted on so-called green energy jobs. Where are the 5 million jobs that they had promised? The unemployment rate in Scranton, Pennsylvania went up significantly, 8.5 to 10%. You know, it's very interesting. You know, the piggy bank, Obamacare line, and hand in the cookie jar. And then, of course, he laid out the facts that America's not better off than it was 4 years ago. Fewer Americans working, $6 trillion in debt, and that he's offering a very different vision in a very serious, very methodical, very intelligent way to the American people. What does the country want?
Right. What you're suggesting there is the substance of the arguments made tonight, how important the substance was, not so much the style. I honestly think at this stage of the race, people are not so obsessed with who's going to come across as more telegenic or more passionate based on the words that they use, but what is the substance? What's behind their beliefs, their policies? What is their own record? What I was hoping was that Paul Ryan would have the opportunity to bring up Joe Biden's energy record and how he has been so opposed to domestic drilling of our own resources and development here on within our own shores. You know, it was Joe Biden who 30-some years ago actually voted against the Trump line, which has dumped 18 billion barrels of good, clean energy into American markets, and yet Joe Biden opposed it back then, and he still opposes tapping our own resources today, and that is why you see that cost of energy so sky high, affecting every good, every service in America.
Well, all I can say is I can't wait to get back to our studio tomorrow night and montage Joe Biden and his facial expressions all throughout the debate. I think that'll be the big story by the time we get back. There was one instant poll I saw that had Ryan ahead, and every focus group that I'm hearing from did not like the tone, the condescension, the arrogance, the interruption of the vice president. So we're going to watch. For Palin, great to see you as always. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Sean. Let me remind you one thing, too, though, that the truth that's told with bad intent being all lies one can't invent. And when Joe Biden told some truths about, say, death panels, but he told it out of context and with an intention to kind of skew what the true meaning and the truth behind the policy issues are, that is actually telling a lie. So just keep that in mind when you talk about style, when you talk about the verbiage that Joe Biden chose to use tonight.
Well, and there will be bureaucrats that are unelected, and I think it's about 4,000 times in the health care bill, they will decide. Very interesting, and we'll be debating that in the days and weeks to come. Governor, good to see you.